Hey everyone, welcome to my stream. We are going to be doing a really cool Easter basket today because Easter is tomorrow. Also, today is a friend of mine's birthday, so I'm just going to give a shout out. He's probably not on stream because hopefully he's enjoying his day. But happy birthday, Joshua. Okay, so let me just show you what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to pop over to Discord. And I always post reference photos the day of in my Discord. So here we go. Let's see. So this is, it's not showing the whole thing. All right. Nope. Okay. So it's not showing the whole thing, but you get the idea. This is what we're going to be painting today. I'm not actually a fan of this reference photo. I did not paint this. Someone else did. So, yeah. But that's what we're going to be doing. If you would like to pull that up yourself. See, I've got right here at the bottom, I've got the link to Discord. And there's also a button somewhere on my page that should say Discord, and if you click on that, it will take you to the Discord server. So anyone is welcome to join, and you can see whatever today's reference is going to be. So that way you don't have to follow behind me as exactly if you don't want to, because you'll have something to look at. I am decked out in my Easter shirt that I made 2 years ago, maybe. It's got my little peeps. And this is my cool peep here. He says, yo. Anyway, this shirt is my design. Just saying. But anyway. All right. So let's go over the supplies and go ahead and get started. You need some kind of canvas. I've got 2 brushes. I've got a 3/4 wash brush, or it's also called a filbert when it's got this rounded top. This is a size 6 round brush, and the round you can tell because they're the pointy ones. I've got a palette knife, a palette for my paints. I've got 5 paint colors. Now, so the main colors, you've got red, yellow, and blue. And if you have any red, yellow, and blue, these will probably be fine. However, the ones I specifically use is a cadmium yellow medium, a naphthol red, or naphthol crimson, rather, phthalo blue, or phthalocyanine blue. Then I also use, but like I said, red, yellow, and blue would be fine. I also have a brown and a white. In this case, it's burnt umber and titanium white. So if you have those colors, then you're good to go. Now, notice that mine are in tubes. When you go to a craft store and you ask for acrylic paint, sometimes they will lead you to this aisle. And this aisle is craft paint. It's acrylic, yes, but it's craft paint. And it's too runny. So you can use it, but you have to be very thin about it because it's not it's not conducive to the kind of painting that we're doing. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. I've got my water. I've got paper towels, which is important because this is very messy. And in fact, I probably, since I don't want to mess up my cool shirt, I should probably wear an apron. So hang on. We'll just to be safe, I don't want my peeps getting all messy. You know, they're my peeps. Okay. Actually, in truth, peeps themselves, like the actual marshmallow candy, I don't think really taste that great unless you roast them over a fire, like, you know, toasted marshmallows. The sugar on the outside caramelizes. So good. Mwah. Really delicious. I highly suggest you try it. Okay, so today's painting, we're going to actually... So I was looking over the lesson plan, and here's the thing. I don't write these lesson plans. Well, some of them I do, but most of these I don't write the lesson plan. So I read over them and I see, you know, what I'm going to be teaching. Sometimes I go into it as a surprise, like, oh, this is the first time I'm looking at this. Most of the time I know how to do the step-by-step myself, so I don't really need the lesson plan. But I was looking at this one, and they want us to actually draw on the canvas. Well, I'm not really a fan of that. I've got canvas board here, so it's not actually a canvas, you can see. So mine would be easier to draw on, but if you were using a canvas that's like, you know, like actual canvas material, it's not really easy to draw on. So we're going to try something different. So I'm going to not do this in the order that it says. So we're going to start by doing our basket in the middle, and then we're going to do everything else around the basket. So we're going to start with burnt umber. So I'm going to do just a little drop. So a drop is like a pea size amount. I'm going to do a little bit of the yellow. Again, just a pea-size amount. And then I'm going to do about 4 times that amount of white. So I've got my titanium white. I'm needing to get a new tube here. I go through a lot of white. 3, 4. What I do is I squeeze to a count. So 1 is 1 drop. I just squeeze to the count of 4. All right, so we're gonna mix this. So you take your palette knife and just kind of scrape everything together. Welcome, whoever is joining. We are just getting started. So what we did is we mixed 1 part of the brown, 1 part yellow, 4 parts white. We're going to create our basket first. All right, it's a very neutral color. You can see it's very beigey. Parchment even. That's what it looks like to me, that parchment yellow. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and lay the outline for the basket. This is just like the underneath. Actually, you know what? I'm not even, nope. All right, we are going to use this, but I want to make a darker color. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mix a good deal of brown. And then I'm just going to pick up some of this. We will be using this color, but I'm going to pick up some of this and just mix it in about equal parts. So we're going to start with a darker color. I told you I'm going to be winging it a little bit today because I don't really like the lesson plan. So we are going to wing it. It's okay. Just so you know, I'm really good at winging it. So it's not... This isn't quite the adventure that it probably sounds like. Like, oh boy, you know, I'm not going to be able to get a good drawing. All right, so this will be our basket. Maybe I want a little bit more yellow, just a little bit. All right. Let's get that mixed up completely. Oops. Okay, so we've got our color. First we need to wet our brush. So we're going to use our big brush. So to wet it, you put it down into your cup and see the bubbles are already coming up. You just spread it across the bottom. Just push it down across the bottom and see it'll get all that air out. Because we want to get the air out before we start putting the paint in it. Otherwise we get, it'll be uneven. All right, so I'm going to wipe this like that. And then I'm going to come into kind of the side, like on the side up at the top, and just dab my brush a few times. And what I'm doing is essentially mixing that water in with the paint so that it's not super runny. So I'm just mixing it in, but it is going to make it a little more fluid. All right, so we have done cylindrical objects before. By the way, notice that my canvas is in a portrait orientation, which means vertical, because our basket kind of goes up and down. All right, so I'm going to do, let's see, probably about the middle of the page, right above that. We're just going to do a big brown smile right there. Right there in the middle. Then we're going to come down at an angle. Doesn't have to be too far of an angle. It doesn't have to come too far in, just a little bit of an angle. Pick up a little bit more. And then we're going to do another smile at the bottom. And we can go ahead and fill this in. So this is our base color. This is going to be our shade, like our shadow color. Our dark value in this case, which it's really a medium value. We're not really doing very many dark values. I think we'll have one dark value in the grass, but maybe not. It depends. It depends on when I get there if I decide I want a medium value or not. So values, that's an important art term. Your value is how light or dark something is. So, you know, you might hear someone saying, "Oh, this doesn't have enough value in it," which means that maybe it's all light values or all dark values. So, an example of this, colors like this are all pretty medium value. So that, well, technically that's light value, but the rest of these are like in a medium family. Even the yellow. Light would be, let me see. I've got something light. I really don't. Man. Well, I mean, white obviously is light. I don't have anything handy, but anyway, you've got, so this is a light value. This is a medium value. Let's see if I can find something dark value. This is a medium value. So it doesn't matter if it's a light color. It matters like how intense the color is. I just have random stuff. Actually, this could, no, that's medium. It's an eraser. This is medium. Almost dark. I don't know. I don't really have that many things as an example, but this is a medium value. If I started making it more black or dark, then it would be dark. So I feel like I'm not really illustrating this very well, but you'll know it when you see it. Like if you had a gradient of this color right here from light to dark, this would fall in the middle. That's how you know it's a medium. So there you go. I wish I had had some things handy to show you guys medium and dark value. Maybe next painting class I'll make sure to have some stuff handy. All right, so I'm going to actually pick up just a tiny bit more water. If you don't have water, what will happen is it will start to dry brush, which means that it's going to pull on the canvas because the canvas has little tiny teeth in it. It's got a little texture on it. And oops, a little paint got on there. That's okay. When it starts to dry brush, basically you start seeing the white coming through. Okay, let's go ahead. We are going to draw an arch here. And it's going to go like that. Okay, and then we're going to do our come up on that side. Like that. So the key to getting straight lines is moving your entire arm, not moving the brush, but actually moving your whole arm with it. See how I move my entire arm? That's the key to getting straight lines when you're painting or drawing, really. Okay. So I'm cleaning off my brush. We're going to let that set for just a minute. We're going to talk about our eggs. So I was debating what to do about like this arch back here. Do I fill this in and then put my eggs, or do I put my eggs first? I'm going to actually put the eggs in individually. Those are going to be pretty bright. I will do this. Okay, so get a pencil. I don't normally, like I said, I don't normally like to draw, but we are going to have some eggs in the foreground. And the problem is that we're going to be doing dark green grass. Dark green, it would just mean we would have to do many passes at painting over it. So I'm going to go ahead and do just a little egg shape right here. An egg shape right here. And it's okay if the pencil line's choppy. I'm going to have one coming off the page. And then an egg shape right here. I'm not going to worry too much about the egg shapes in the actual basket. But I just wanted to get these down here because we're going to be doing the grass, so I don't want to paint over those. Okay. So now we're going to mix up a little bit of dark color. So what we're going to do, so this will be our dark. So 2 parts, so I counted 1, 2, and a little bit of yellow. No white. So this is going to be our dark value. So actually you'll get to see a light, medium, and dark right here. See, I didn't even have to stress about it. It was gonna happen. It was going to happen. And these are nice. I'm really struggling with the mixing today. These are nice examples too. I might actually want this brown to be a little darker. I'm gonna add a little bit more. A little bit more of my burnt umber. All right, so let's mix that in. Nice. Okay, so this actually illustrates what I was trying to talk about earlier. Better than me just finding random objects on my desk. Much better, because you can see the actual difference between them. All right, so you've got a dark value, a medium value, and a light value. So you can see that this is almost the middle between these two. That's it. That's all it is with values. Man, how easy was that? And I just had to wait a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to take my small brush now. This has not been wet yet, so we need to get the air out. So you're going to do the same thing. I'm going to press it along the bottom and get all the air bubbles out. And then we're going to pick up a little bit of paint. Now I'm starting to think maybe we should. Hang on. Before we do this, before we get started, let's go ahead and do our eggs. Let's go ahead and draw them because we're going to be putting this around them. Okay, so I'm going to do an egg right here. I'm going to do an egg right here. I'm going to do one kind of behind here. And it's okay that I kind of messed up because we're going to be painting over that, so it's not a problem. So I'm just drawing my eggs in. I wasn't going to do this originally, but I think that it's probably better to plan in this scenario because we're going to be painting around these. So there's going to be one. And then we'll have one back here. There. Okay, so now we've got our eggs. Now I can come in and paint right in the cracks where the eggs are not touching. So I'm just looking for everywhere that there is no egg. Main thing is because we're doing pastel eggs, and pastel is it's very much in the light family, the light value. So it's difficult to paint a light value over dark. If you've ever had like a dark colored room, that you were trying to paint and you end up having to do like 3 coats, you know why. It's very difficult to paint over dark, especially with a very light color. So I'm just going to bring like a little line down here. Remember, if you want to stay straight, you move your whole arm. Okay. Now there's a couple of places where we're going to have dark. So we'll have it on the underneath. I'm trying to keep my hand out of where I just painted. So the underneath of our basket handle. I'm going to get some more water because this is starting to dry brush a little bit, which means it's dragging. Now, when I get up to the top, it's going to become just kind of a thin line. Really, we need to determine where our light source is here. I don't know. Oh, excuse me. Well, the way they have it in the picture is the light source is coming from straight down. So I guess we will have some shadow on this side. All right. Oops. Out of the frame. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do, so there is kind of a rim on this basket. And I feel like I didn't fully paint it, but we're going to paint a line that comes down and goes back up like that. I'm going to actually pick up a little bit of my medium color and kind of bulk out just a little bit. So that it looks like this part of the basket is like bigger. You know, it bulks out just a little bit. Today is a quiet day. It's probably a good thing, you know. I actually went to the grocery store today and, you know, braved the corona. But I was safe and I washed my hands and I did all of the things and I stayed away from people and, you know, I think I'll be okay. But you can't really be too careful right now. I think it's important. I mean, I'm pretty much trying to stay home. Like, I'm not itching to go out like I was before. Not anymore. All right, so I'm going to pick up some more of this brown. And we're going to do some stripes down at the bottom. So we've got this basket part here, like the top of the basket. We're going to actually do a smile here. And it's okay if it spreads a little bit. That's okay. And actually, I want this to come up a little bit farther. I'm going to do one more. Like that. Okay. I think we're pretty much done with that dark brown. I mean, I could make these a little darker, but I'm not too worried about it because it's just our shadow. Just the shadow. All right. So now what we're going to do is we are going to come in. Let's see. I'm going to take a little bit of this medium color and do like some just up and down stripes because we're going to blend this. Oops. So just up and down stripes. And then I'm going to pick up my light color and do some up and down stripes too. All right, now what I'm going to do is come in here and blend everything. And I'm doing it in an up and down motion. It's okay if you go over your I'm letting it curve a little bit. It's okay if you go over your top line just a little bit, but I'm letting it curve. So it's almost like, let me draw this here. Like that. Like I'm letting my brush curve. Now on this side, I'm going to let it curve the other way, like this. I'm going to get a little bit more water. So it spreads a little easier. So I'm letting it curve. Choo, 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 choo. Little sound effects. Choo, choo, choo. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take this, get some water, first of all. And we're going to take this darker, or medium color rather, medium color. And we're going to come in at the top here. Right at the dark line that we did. And we'll do the same thing on the bottom. Actually get a little bit of water. I'm gonna get some more of this and just come up just a little bit from the bottom. I'm not letting it go too far up. This will give the illusion that it's curved. So it's a little bit darker there. Hi, Teacher Margot. Welcome. Good afternoon. I was wondering if you were on today. Thank you for joining me. All right. So now what we're going to do, get your brush wet, get a little bit of water. We're going to get some of this light color. And we're going to come in and we're going to do blocks of color. So there's a block of color. There's a block of color. We're going to just alternate. You're not doing it because you just woke up, but you're about to finish the bunny from yesterday. Awesome. Okay. Well, that's cool. Well, I still appreciate you joining. Yeah, yesterday's bunny was pretty cute. I like how it turned out. So see how I'm just alternating checkerboard, kind of that checkerboard pattern? All right. So now we're going to alternate and we're going to put our next row down. And it's okay if you go over those dark lines that we made. But the next row down is going to be right in the spot of the opposite color. All right. We'll just keep going at this, just doing our little checkerboard. Like I said, it's okay if you go over those dark lines. It's not a problem. Those are our shadow lines. And last row here. Now when I get to the bottom, I'm trying to stay with the curve, not letting myself go over. I'm being careful. Man, I was up a little late last night and I probably am going to need to take a nap because I feel like I didn't get enough sleep. I had to do my grocery store run and everything, so, you know, had to get there and back before my stream. So yeah, I think I got maybe about 4 hours of sleep, so I'll be taking a nap today at some point. I'm pretty certain. I used to think, oh, I'm an adult. I shouldn't be napping. Napping is for awesome people, in my opinion. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Nothing wrong with a nap. All right, so we're going to have this last little bit here. I'm going to actually come in, and there's a couple of these that are dark, so I'm going to just fill them in a little bit. A little more paint now that they're dry. All right. So we've got part of our basket here. Now, I don't know why I just cleaned off my brush because I'm getting ready to use the exact same color. But so get it wet, get your brush wet, and pick up some of our light color. And we are going to do some highlighting on the outside of our handle here. Welcome, new viewer, whoever just came on. All right. So where did we say our light source was coming from? I think it was coming from straight ahead. So I think in general, we're just kind of making this up as we go. There doesn't seem to be any precision to this. It's a holiday themed. I mean, I'm going to try to keep shadows at least a little bit civil, but maybe this is like a different kind of reed. Like, you know, when you make baskets, you use different kinds of reeds. Maybe this is just this color reed on top here rather than the shadow. How about that? I mean, the highlight. I like that. I like that angle because then I don't have to think about the highlights that much. This is a very whimsical painting anyway. So I'm going to have a little bit of light right here on the brown. And also get some water. I don't want it to be too thin, but I need it to be a little bit thinner. We are going to have just right here. I'm going to have some light here. Oops, that's still a little wet. So I'm coming in. I'm trying to do this quickly because we're going to come in and blend, and I don't want it to dry too much before we blend it. So I'm cleaning my brush off, and so to blend, you come in with a clean brush. You're going to have to wipe it off from time to time, and you just catch those little dashes that you made. So all I'm doing is just wiping off excess paint. I'm going to grab a little bit of this middle color and grab some of that at the bottom. All right, then dry the brush, and we're going to blend right in the middle of these two colors. So clean, dry, And then right in the middle, we're just going to brush those together since they're both still wet. Like that. Okay. Now, so for down here, we have our, I'm going to touch up some of these so that they're lighter. Sometimes you do need more than one coat of a light color. Now, I'm not being precise about this. Notice I'm just like putting some paint on. I'm not trying to be exact like I was before. This is fine because it gives it a little bit of a texture. It's going to make it look a little bit choppy, which I want. I want it to look a little choppy. I want it to look very basket-like. Okay, now I'm going to grab my other color, the middle, sorry. I said other color. There's actually 3 colors here. So I'm grabbing my middle color and I'm going to come in right in that middle section. And again, I'm doing kind of the same thing. I'm not trying to be precise about it. All right. Almost there. All right. Now, I'm going to take, let's see. My dark, well, I almost want these, like where it's dark there needs to be, it needs to come over almost. So I'm going to use the light color and let it come down over that dark part. But I think just on the light one. I'm not sure. I'm like trying to imagine a basket in my head because the reference photo, it kind of shows it, but not really. Not well. I'm not happy with the reference photo. What we will do though is we are going to do just a little bit of brown, the darkest color at the very bottom. And this is going to have grass around it, so that's going to probably mostly get covered. All right, I think that's pretty good. I think that's good. I don't know. I told you guys it's going to be a little bit of an experiment, so maybe I want to cover some of this dark area with on the medium brown too. Hey, you know, we're doing it as we go. Like I said, I'm bypassing the lesson plan because I don't think the lesson plan is very good. So, you know, that means it's up to me to figure out the correct situation. I think this is still good though, because I still, you still see some of the shadow color, the dark color. Yeah. I like this. I like this. So, decision made and appreciated. Okay. Now up here is shadow. So I don't know. Maybe what I'll do here is get this darker color. The medium color. And just do a line of this all the way around. And then a line of my darker color. And see how choppy that was? That's not cool. That's not cool at all. So we're going to blend. Picking up the other color. And what it does is it mixes with that dark color and makes it look more shadowy. It's going to dry a little bit different. Alright, I don't want to spend too much time blending. Alright. Good. Now, let's see. Let's do the color of the eggs first. So we really don't need any more of these colors, so I mixed an awful lot of these. I am going to save this. You can actually wrap it with plastic and put it in the freezer, and like just regular saran wrap or whatever around it. Put it in the freezer, and it will stay fresh for, I know for a fact I've done it for like 3 weeks before, and it was still fresh. So yeah, you can wrap your paints and save them, because that's quite a lot of paint I don't really want to throw out. And these are nice neutral colors, so I can use them easily. I can use them for something else. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make our paint colors. All right. So what we're going to do to make pastels, we need white. Lots and lots of white. Okay. So I'm going to do white here. And let's see, how many colors do I have? Yellow. Actually, I don't need this much white. Okay, so I'm going to do white in two, and I'm going to divide it. So we're going to do 4 colors. We're going to do red, yellow, blue, and green. So I'm going to take half of this and put it in another well here. Mostly because I'm running out of white, so I really need to conserve. All right. So we're doing pastel colors. So we're going to do a little bit of blue. And I don't want much. Blue goes a really long way, especially phthalo blue. So I'm just going to put just a tiny bit there. Get a nice robin egg color is what we're going for. Well, that's maybe a little bluer than robin egg color. We can mix a tiny bit of yellow in that shortly. Or I don't know, that might be okay. That might be all right. For another color, for our green, we're going to have just a tiny bit of blue. So you can see I did a little bit less blue than that. Not much, but a little bit. And then we're going to add just a tiny bit of yellow. So now we're painting our eggs, just in case you're just joining. So we're mixing this up. We're going to get a nice pastel green. All right. I'm going to clean this off because, so I've got my green. Now I want pure yellow. Oops, that has a little bit of blue on it. That's okay. So I'm using a little bit more of the yellow because yellow is already a pretty light color. So I'm hoping that the color I get is kind of like deviled egg yellow. It's a very sunny yellow. Yep, that's a good yellow. All right, now the last color we're going to do is like kind of a reddish pink. So red is another one that goes a really long way. So we don't need very much of it. All right. Gonna get our small brush and let's start with our blue. So wet your brush a little bit, bring it to the side of the blue color. We're gonna put blue right here. So I'm being careful around the edge of my basket since we spent all that time making it look good. Now, something that we're going to do that should in theory work is we're going to use a little bit of this brown to mix in and give us low lights or shadows. So I'm going to just dip in the brown and right here. Clean my brush a little bit. I'm going to pick up just a little bit more of the blue and then come in here and blend. Nice. All right. We'll do another blue over here. I'm just going to follow the colors that are in the reference photo. Now they have different colors. So like they have 2 different blues. I'm not going to do that. I didn't splurge that much for Easter this year because of the virus, so I did not buy eggs of like 9 different colors. Sorry kids, you get the same 4 colors. No fancy eggs for this egg hunt. Now we're going to do the same thing with the brown on this one. While it's still wet, I'm going to pick up a little brown. Oops. And we'll do it all along right here. Cleaning off my brush. And I'm going to blend. Clean off my brush again. This happens sometimes when you're blending colors. You have to clean your brush more than once. I picked up a little bit of blue. And I'm just blending it best I can. Now we can do the same thing on the other side. So we could put a little bit right here of this lighter color. And blend that on the outside too. In fact, let's do that over here. Now that's already dry, so I'm going to pick up a little bit of blue and blend that. Look at that. Got a nice, you know, tonal egg there. All right, so we've got some blues down here in the grass. So this is a blue. I don't know why there's only one green egg. I guess they didn't want to put any green eggs down in the grass because maybe it'll get lost. But we're going to put one. Because I don't care, kids. If you don't find it, somebody will. The vultures will find it. I don't know. Somebody would appreciate an egg that got left out. Okay, pick up a little brown. We're going to do our brown on the underneath here. And we're going to do our lighter color on the top here. And then we're going to blend. So I'm going to pick up a little bit more of the blue and come in and blend. Okay, same thing down here. Okay. Since I'm going to make this one green now, then we're done with our blues. So now I'm going to start on the greens. So this one is green. Now, that is really see-through. I can see my pencil marks, and that's, so we're going to do more than one coat of the green. Okay, so we're going to do this one here in green. And it's coming off the page. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask in chat. It's been very quiet today. Think everybody's getting ready for Easter? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if anybody's going to be doing Easter stuff this year. I mean, maybe they will, just because kids need some kind of pick-me-up, you know, after being home all the time. Poor children, all locked up. Can't play outside. If you're my nephew, you don't care because you just play computer games. This is just an excuse to play even more computer games. So, you know. All right. So we're going to do our same deal. We're going to do our same deal. This time our brown is down here. Picking up my white color. That's going to be up here. And then I'm going to pick up a little green and blend. A little green and blend. All right. There you go. I like this because it's giving it kind of a natural tone to these because I'm adding the brown. So I like that we did this. I like this decision. We're making good decisions today, y'all. All right, so this is, the brown's going to be here. The white's going to be at the top. And we'll pick up our green and get to blending. Oops. I got a little crazy there with this one. There we go. Okay. Next color, yellow. So I've got two yellow ones in the picture. This one. So I'm gonna pick up some yellow. Now I'm expecting that we're going to have to do multiple coats for this one because it is such a pale color. So for this one, I am not going to use the dark brown. I'm going to use the medium brown. As my shadow color. Took a really long time to finish that sentence. Make you earn it. You have to earn my sentences. All right. And this one right here is yellow. All right. So we've got our yellow down. Now remember I said that I was going to do 2 coats first. So I'm going to go back up. Although honestly I don't know if we need 2 coats because we're going to be adding some color here, but we'll see. All right. So I'm going to come in. I don't know why I just cleaned off my brush. That was unnecessary. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to put a second coat of the yellow. And then we're going to add our dark brown color. Oh, no. I did say medium brown, didn't I? Medium brown. So we're going to add our medium brown color right here. Ooh, and that's just blending really nicely. Oh, I don't even have to pick up any yellow. Look at that. Well, I am going to have to pick up a little bit of dark brown because it is not dark enough down here in this little crevice. So get a little bit of dark brown. Then I'm going to pick up a little bit of my yellow and just blend that out. There we go. Okay, let's get our light color. We'll do up here, and funny enough, that's actually almost the same color as the yellow. So, you know. Just blend everything. It's all right. Close enough, y'all. Close enough. All right. Well, since the medium didn't do what I wanted it to do for this, I'll go ahead and use the dark right around here. And I'll get the light going here. And then I'll pick up my yellow and blend, 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 blend. I need to get a little bit of water with this because it's not runny enough, so what it's doing is it's dry brushing and causing me to lose my line integrity. Integrity, that was the word I was trying to think of the other day. I was talking about like breaking, when you break, it's a jewelry thing. When you've got like a circle, like a jump ring, you've got a ring. If you pull it open like this, rather than like this, So you want to, whenever you do jump rings, you always want to pull it like that, because if you pull it like this, you break the integrity of the circle. And I couldn't think of that word the other day. So ha ha. I mean, I probably just figured out another word instead of integrity, but all right, we're done with the yellows. So now let's do our pink. Pink. So we've got 3 pink eggs. So I'm just being very careful down in this little crevice so that I don't paint over the blue or the green ones that I've already done. I'm going to just go ahead and get them all painted first, and then we'll go back in and do our low lights and highlights. I'm getting a little bit more water because it's starting to get dry, and especially when you're doing edges, you don't want it to be dry, because otherwise that's when it starts getting choppy and it doesn't look very good. So just mix in a little water. If you have it, you can always mix in something like this, which is called a matte medium. And what it does is it thickens, I mean not thickens, opposite of thickens. It liquefies your paint a little bit, but keeps it the same thickness. How does that, it makes it less viscous, but so I guess it's not as thick, but it keeps the same texture, I suppose. I'm like trying to think how to describe that, but basically it makes it more fluid, so it moves easier, but it's not as watery as liquid. As water. Like water actually not only makes it more liquidy, but it also makes your paint more translucent. That's what it is. Makes it more see-through. This won't affect the transparency. Man, that was hard. That was really hard for me to get that stuff into words there. I don't know why. I'm having trouble with words today. It's probably the 4 hours of sleep. Sometimes that will affect your brain. I would say all of the times it affects your brain. Not necessarily in a positive way. But that's okay. Naps are to be had. After this stream, naps are to be had. Trust that. Okay, so I've got my eggs. Now I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to do my my dark and my light. Okay, so let's pick up a little bit of brown here. You know what? I don't even care that I'm like ruining that color. Okay, so we've got some dark here and along there. Okay. And I'm going to do my light at the top. Welcome if you're just joining the stream. We are doing a little Easter basket today because tomorrow is Easter. Yup. Sure is. If anybody knows what that's from, double bonus points. If Teacher Margot's paying attention, she might actually know where that's from because it's old. That's an old reference. Yup. Sure is. Actually, it's entirely possible I don't even have that line 100% correct. So, maybe no one will get it. It's possible. I'll just tell you. There's a movie called Land Before Time. And there was a character in that movie. Her name was Sarah. Because she was a triceratops. And that's what she used to say. She'd say, yup, yup, yup. Nope. That wasn't her. That was Ducky. God. I need to go back and watch the movie. I'm not getting the entire reference wrong. So you know what? Nobody get it. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. I didn't even get the reference right. This is a CSA. Get sleep. PSA. Get sleep. What does CSA stand for? I think that has to do with covering of behinds. You know, like when you want to make sure that you don't get in trouble for something, you do a CSA ahead of time. Oh, did this brown dry? No. Okay. So this dark brown that I just did was a little bit, knocking things over. I'm going to pick up some pink because it was a little bit dry, so it did not blend the way I wanted it to. That's okay. Make up for it. Yeah, whatever. You know. All right. So we've got our brown down here. And we've got our light at the top. And then we get our pink. This is our last egg. Last egg, y'all. Yep, it was Ducky. Ducky was a little duck-billed platypus. Nope. Duck-billed platypus is a different kind of creature, not a dinosaur, Sarah. What was the duck-billed something? Anyway, his name was Ducky. And he was the one that said yup, yup, yup. So there you go. I got my characters wrong. All the way around. And I can't seem to remember what Ducky was. It's a sad day. I used to be so into dinosaurs too. Not as into dinosaurs as I was into pirates though. Really love pirates. Alright, so I got a little bit of the brown. So I'm going to pick up some green here and just come in and fix that. Because I really... Oop, that got a little bit of pink in there. That's okay. Okay, so now we are done with our eggs in our basket. What we're going to do is the grass and the sky. So we're going to get our big brush. And let's see, for the sky... we can use this blue here. I don't know if I have enough of it though, but we'll see. So get your brush wet. And we're just gonna come in here and put sky down. Now I want this to end right about here. I don't normally like ending right in the middle, but since this is a very themed painting, then it's not too bad. It's okay if we end right in the middle of our canvas. The horizon is what I'm talking about. Normally I don't like my horizon line to be right at the middle. It's boring, and there's better places to put it usually. But for today's purposes, since we're doing, it's not cartoony, but it's themed, It might as well be cartoony. It's okay to have the horizon line in the middle. It is okay. So it just depends on how whimsical your painting is. If your painting is particularly whimsical, it's fine for it to be in the middle. I'm just being very careful when I go around the edge of my basket there. And in fact, because I'm right-handed, I'm going to actually turn this upside down and do this side. Oops. I accidentally painted over the side of the basket. Well, that's okay. I might use the smaller brush to get in these little areas. So I'm going to turn this again. Turn it again. I'm going to do this side. Almost there. Almost there. So I did say I wanted to use my smaller brush, so I'm not going to try to get too far down into there. So I'm going to clean this for now, grab my smaller brush because I don't want it to completely dry yet, so that I don't have these weird, like, harsh lines. I'm running low on the blue, which is fine, but oops, I'm getting paint on the side of my hand. I was not being careful where I put my hand. All right, I'm going to take, first of all, I'm going to get a new napkin. Drink of water, new paper towel. Now, I'm going to get a little bit of white. Oops. Okay. Get some water in there. And it's okay that the blue is mixing in. I'm just letting this mix. Get some white. Maybe pick up a little blue. Actually, the bigger brush is going to be better for this, so I'm going to pick up the bigger brush. what I'm doing is just getting some, like, making it look a little cloudy in my sky. Just lightening it up a little bit. And the choppier your brush strokes, the better. I'm trying to be careful as I get closer to the eggs, because I don't want to, I mean, it was the whole point of me using that round brush inside. All right, so I'm fine with the sky. This particular blue egg, I need that to be a little bit more silhouetted against the sky. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick up a little bit of my blue here and just mix it in. And then I'm going to very carefully come there. Don't worry, we're not leaving it like that. We're going to blend. Clean my brush off. And then blend it. So we're blending that. No, don't cover it up. There you go. Okay. So it just makes that stand out a little bit more. I was fixing something and now I didn't ruin it, but I put too much of the light color, so I'm blending it out now. There. Just make it look kind of choppy. Okay, last thing we've got is our grass. So what we're going to do equal parts this color right here. But we're just going to mix in a little bit more blue and a little bit more yellow. Because it's equal parts yellow, equal parts blue. So I'm going to add that with a little tiny bit of white. All right. Got to get a clean workspace here. My number one rule, clean workspace. All right. So let's go ahead and mix the yellow and the blue in with the lighter green. And I'm hoping that we get kind of a Kelly green. It'll be a little bit more muted because it's got that white in it. Maybe a tiny bit more blue. Blue goes a long way, so I'm like getting paint all over everything. I'm not entirely sure why I'm putting my paper towel all the way over there. So okay, let's see what happens when we mix a little bit more of the blue in there. Hopefully this will darken this up a little bit. It did, however, still a little teal, and the only way to fix that is to get more yellow. But if I add more yellow, I'm going to actually add some of this brown. So I'm going to pick up some brown and add it in and see if that'll neutralize it a little bit. It should. Brown does that. All right, that's better. And this particular brown actually had a little bit of yellow in it, remember? So that's helpful. There we go. That's a nice green. Okay. So now we are going to pick up some water on our big brush. Pick up some paint. Oops. And at first, we're just going to cover everything. So we're not going to worry about particular individual blades of grass or anything like that. We're just going to cover. Oops. I'm just being extra careful here in the little corners because I don't want to, you know, I don't want to ruin that. The basket that we work so hard on. All right, close. That's fine. I'm not going to try to fix that. I was going to try to fix it, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to. All right. Getting into some dangerous territory here where it's about to get very, very close to our eggs. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is get my smaller brush. I'm just trying to get the extra paint off of this brush. All right, so let's get this brush wet. Come in here. This is fine because we're going to actually use this brush for our blades of grass anyway. But I just want to keep my round egg shape here. Trying not to lose that. Being so careful. And it's dry brushing a little bit. So I'm going to get some water on my brush. All right, so I'm being super careful. Oops, and I've got way too much paint on my brush. So let's get some of that off and move this around. We're almost done, guys. We are on the home stretch now. Once we finish this up, we're going to do some blades of grass, and then we're done. And you guys can go enjoy your Easter weekend. I hope you have something fun planned. It's going to be hard to do any kind of big gatherings, obviously. And I don't encourage that at all. You know, stay at home. However, if you do have kids, you know, if you could do something fun for them, that'd be cool. You know, they've been all cooped up, getting the cabin fever. Everybody's probably starting to get an appreciation for if you are now ostensibly you're homeschooling your kids. You know, the teachers are sending you stuff, so it's like virtual school, but hopefully now you have an appreciation for what your teachers have to deal with, because you're only dealing with 1, 2, maybe 3 kids. They have to deal with an entire classroom full of kids. So, including yours. So hopefully everybody's getting kind of an appreciation for what teachers have to deal with on a daily basis. Our classrooms are very full. And, you know, it's not a fun situation for a lot of teachers. So I'm hoping that this will create some empathy. For the teachers out there. All right, I'm getting a little bit more water because it's not moving as fluid. So if you want it to move fluid, just add a little water. All right. You know, I don't particularly celebrate Easter. I didn't grow up celebrating Easter, so I mean, I feel like we probably did egg hunts and stuff like with the other kids. Like I don't remember us like not practicing fun activities around Easter. Same thing with Christmas. We just didn't celebrate it personally. So you know, there's not like a huge Easter tradition in my family. But you know, it always seemed pretty fun. I remember I had a grandmother who was Catholic. She very much celebrated Easter. So I think a lot of times we'd get candy and stuff from her. So, you know, it was still fun. All right. So let's see. I'm trying to like rest my finger. So I'm resting the little knuckle of my pinky like against here, which is dry, so that I have some leverage here. Because this is a very difficult angle. So that's what I recommend doing, is finding a dry spot and resting a part of your hand that's clean. It's key, because see, this part's not clean. So that is important. I'm just trying not to touch the green that I just painted because then I'll be putting green all over everything. Okay. Whew. That part's done. Let me just get this little part over here. And then we can add some blades of grass. So remember, like I said, if you want a straight line when you're drawing, you move your entire something. So your entire arm, your entire hand. You don't move your wrist. Because when you move, so like I'm moving my hand. I'm moving like my entire hand. And that's how you get straight arts and lines. Straight lines in art. All right. Whew. Ah, man, that was, that was like nerve-wracking there. And you know what? I see a little area I'm going to fix. So while this is drying, I see a little area I'm going to fix here in the basket. Let's see. Get some water. Mix it up with my brown paint a little bit so that it's fluid. And I'm just going to fix this right here in the basket. Because it looks like I just got some blue paint on it, which is no problem. Easy to fix. There we go. Okay. So last thing, I'm gonna grab some green, and we're gonna come to the back here and just kind of do some choppy lines. Some choppy lines. All right, I'm gonna do some here. Okay, mixing a little bit of water. Okay, this is starting to dry brush, so I'm getting more water and mixing it in so it's more fluid. And every once in a while I'm just letting it like a kind of a big stroke go. And it keeps dry brushing on me. Okay, so here we're going to do the same thing around the eggs. All we're doing is just kind of creating choppy little lines around the eggs. Which shows that they are in the grass. Okay, now I'm going to just pick up a little bit of my yellow because I have some, and I'm just going to come in here and just brush in some yellow in different places just to give it something different. And I'm going to go over this with green. This is not in the lesson plan. Shockingly, I'm doing my own thing. I know. It's hard to believe. Especially since I said at the beginning of the stream that I was going to do this. All right. So now I'm going to come back in with the green. And do some more layers. And this will just give it a little bit of texture. Pick up some more green here or there. Okay. Almost done. Uh-oh. It's like a little dry over here, so I gotta be fast because it's already drying. Pretty good. Dry brush. Dry brush. It's the worst. Well, it's not the worst. I mean, there are techniques that use dry brushing. So, you know, it just is the worst right now because I want it to be fluid. So, I am happy. I'm going to call it. Now, I just noticed here at the bottom of my yellow, I didn't like the way it looks. So I'm coming in. The rest of them I think look fine. Okay. So, here's what we're going to do. I am going to sign. I have, it is still dry. It is still wet here. So I'm not going to sign right at the moment, but let's take a look at this. All right. So overall, I've got my basket, right? I've got, if I really wanted it to look realistic, these are like weaving in and out. So I might like pick up a little bit of my dark. I'm just showing you, I'm not going to do this with all of them. A little bit of my dark and a little bit of my medium color, and I might come in right on the edge there, which would make it look like it's going under. I'm not going to get too into it, but that's how you do that. And then it looks like it's actually going under and over and under and over like that. Okay. I think for a whimsical painting, I think it's very successful. I think that, oops. You know, considering I didn't go off of any lesson plans or anything like that, I think we did all right. Now, we could go in and add some highlights. That's what I'm doing right now. We wanted to add, like, basically just add a little bit of white to the surfaces of the eggs. Which we already did some highlights, but if we wanted to do a little bit more to make them look kind of shiny, we could. I mean, clearly I'm doing it, so, you know, because why not? So all I'm doing is coming in and just adding like a little bit of white to wherever my highlight was, and then I'm blending it out. Now, I don't think anybody followed along with me today, which is fine. I'm going to check Discord just in case. But I think everybody just kind of watched today. It's a lazy day. It's a nice lazy Saturday, hopefully. All this does is add a little bit more roundness to the eggs by adding some white. So since I'm not actually blending the colors, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Since I'm not blending the colors like I was before, or like I'm not putting the pink on here. Man, I'm like, I keep going over my edges. Let's see. Almost done. I guess I need to be more careful. How about that? Instead of just going willy-nilly with the white paint. Whee! White paint. I need a little more water. All right. There we go. And see, that just added a little bit more texture even to it. That's dry, so I can sign it. Remember, like I said, if you want to keep your paints, because I've got a lot of these brown, you just put plastic wrap over it and put it in the freezer, and that'll keep. Okay, so just a real quick critique of this. First, something that I think is really effective in the painting is my eggs. I like my eggs a lot. I like the highlights and shadows and everything on the eggs. I think that was very effective. I think my least effective part of this is the basket. I could work with the basket a little bit more. Remember I told you how to do this like little shading thing? I can continue doing that. And it'll probably look a lot better if I do that. But overall, I think this is excellent. I like it, and I'm calling it. So I'm going to really quickly just pop over to Discord and just see if... Oh, I got a bunny from yesterday. Teacher Margot. Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, that is the cutest, adorable bunny ever. It's really cute. And fat. I like it. I like fat bunnies. So your eggs obviously could be a little bit darker. I don't know if you used the drawing kit that you have, or like the set, or if you used like a colored pencil. But the eggs could be a little bit darker, but this is excellent. I like it a lot. I like your texture in the rabbit. So guys, this was, let me just show you, this was yesterday's. So here's yesterday's drawing that we did. And this is Teacher Margot's. That's excellent. And the eye is really good too. So, man, those ears. You did really good with the shadow here. So this is very effective. You could bring the head down like a little bit here so it doesn't go in. Like so that it goes straight down. Other than that, though, this is great. This is absolutely adorable. I love it. Okay. So nobody did the egg one, though, which is fine. So this is the one that we did today. And this is mine. So you can see I didn't use the same colors. I went with a little bit more pastel colors. But I like it. And there we go. Okay. So a couple of things to talk about now that we are ending the stream. One is that I'm starting a new class on Tuesday. It will be a crochet class. And, oh, hi, Elmaine Lover. Hi. Welcome to the stream. I don't know how long you've been on the stream, but welcome. Thank you. My Easter basket. So Tuesday at 2 p.m. I'm going to start teaching crochet every week on Tuesdays. We'll start with the basics, and I'm going to stick with the basics for a few weeks as maybe people join and things like that. But and then I'll start increasing skill level. So Tuesdays are now going to be for crochet. Next Friday we are going to do a lighthouse drawing, and that will be at 7 p.m. Eastern. So we're next week. The theme for the art part of it is lighthouses. So we're going to do a lighthouse painting on Saturday and a lighthouse drawing on Friday evening. So there you go. All right. Thank you so much for joining my stream today. Have a fantastic Easter and a great week. And I hope to see you in my crochet class on Tuesday. So all you'll need is some yarn and a hook. And that's it. All right. See you guys. Have a great rest of the weekend.